devotees who participated, yourself included, they are given an opportunity to raise their hand and volunteer and share what their experience was during the day. And it's nice if those who are doing the sharing, if you can, besides the highs and the lows, what were some places of shelter or resources that you found strengthening or shelter giving, or when you weren't flying high, you were down and you reached to those things and they brought stability or strength, a sense of connection. You know, I think a good place to start is how many rounds have you completed so far today? Of course, there's more time today, but so far today. How many here have not yet completed 64 rounds today? Okay. So that's the pattern, the opportunity. Just raise your hand and I'll see your hand. I also have the privilege of calling on people. I think I can do that. Anybody would like to volunteer? Sharing? First one. Yes?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. I'm thinking about maybe two reflections. The first one is more related to the lecture yesterday. Yesterday you gave us the Sankalpa exercise.
Yes.
That where you asked us to you played that sit properly recording and asked us to chant together with Srila Prabhupada.
Yes.
And I found Srila Prabhupada's chanting is so fast that I basically ended up busy with trying to keep up with his pace and forgot about the Sankalpa thing completely. And then I also remembered, I think maybe it's 2023 Festival of Holy Name, if my memory is correct. You give a talk on Bhakti Siddhanta, who spent 9 years every day chanting 64 times 3 rounds, and still have some remaining hours to take care of the rest of the things. And I think that he was like chanting 5 minutes per round on average, and I was like,
no way.
It's unimaginable. And because I basically needed twice of his time to chant around, and I kind of start to suspect that there are some mysterious time dilation effect. the time dilation effect, I mean, in, for example, in the Brahma Vimohan Lila.
Oh, I see the connection.
one moment when Chuti basically is, I think, a microsecond, where Brahma is 1 year in Vrindavan. So I was thinking, like, maybe it's because
they were on a higher platform of consciousness.
Maybe because of their very intense concentration or some other yogic power, that the passage of time on their end is slower than our normal conception of time. Anyway, I think this is kind of appreciate their superlative quality, and also an acknowledgement of, like, where I am now. And I think it's also, I'm very grateful that they extend themselves and they extend their instructions to us, which gives us an opportunity to maybe advance.
That's one, or that's two?
That's one. And the second thing, I think, is maybe have something to do with our lecture in the morning. I need to confess that I wasn't sure in the beginning whether or not to come to the Festival of Holy Name, and I basically made a last-minute decision to come. And I think one of the reasons is the very enthusiastic invitation from Shiradika and Amritakeli Mataji during the Memorial Day weekend. And I think it's very hard to resist their kind invitation. And I think I made a right decision. It's always a great pleasure and fortune to come to an assembly like this. I mean, just many lovely and talented devotees. You see all these things, the speech, the kirtan, the dance, and the audios and videos, and the prasad, and the schedule, and the temple management. I think everything has been organized very nicely. And I see that also there's a very balanced distribution of age. Like, we have all different age group in the assembly, and those that were teens and twins 8 years ago now have become mature adults, and those who are children 8 years ago now become teens and twins. But they somehow maintained their connection with the holy name in one way or another. I think it's the question here is why? How this is so? And I think I got a hint from one of the slides in the morning lecture, which is the slide that shows a devotee extend his hand out to Krishna, and Krishna extend his hand out to the devotee, and in the middle is an image of Srila Prabhupada. And I think, and there may be many reasons that we have such a nice assembly, but I think one of the reasons that we can't ignore is this. You may need a hearing aid from now. I think that an inevitable reason is because of you, who has been for many years dedicated yourself, giving yourself to given devotee Krishna the holy name, give a holy name to the devotee, and also connecting the devotee back with the holy name. And I saw that all these many devotees are because of this, your dedication, they're deeply attached to you, and they I think they are very dedicated to serving you very nicely. It's just like this very fine pieces of glasses on a chandelier. They are diffusing the light very beautifully. It's like this is how those devotee looks like in my eyes. And you are perhaps that table which hands up, which is the central pivot that holds everything up very beautifully. And I think because of you, their world was changed, and because of you, they are here.
Wait a minute, don't take. You got to let us know how many rounds you chanted so far today.
I plan to chant 48 rounds, which will take a minimum 7.5 hours. The actual number is 52.
52. Because you brought up the topic, I'd like to respond to at least one part of the topic, and that is there are some places I spend more time, some places I spend less time, sometimes I spend something in between. In part, spending as much time here as I have been doing has a lot to do with the devotees. This not just this building, but the Sangha has an interesting history. And some of the devotees who participated in this festival of the Holy Name were here from the time when there was nothing, or it was like any other home gathering type of activities. And I could name some names, but I don't think that's necessary. Just those devotees have, those and others and others and others have, they've been the inspiration for me to continue to return and invest the time. And so it's a relationship. It's not from that visual, the connection is really our founder Acharya, because he's connecting people, gosh, all over the world. And continues to do so all over the world. And, he's the magnet. And then there are little representatives of that magnet, but he's the one who is attracting. And then the people who have become attracted, that's a big part of at least my activities here, my returning, investing time, and so forth. And Krishna has arranged beyond even the expectation of the people who were involved once upon a time. I mean, there's without going through the history, it's a nice history, but just the property before this building, it was just home gatherings. Anyway, and then a property came for sale. There was a devotee that one of his activities was real estate, and he found out about this property. It was not yet listed, but within a few days, it was something like that. It was going to be listed. We came and looked at the property. A Baptist church from somewhere in the southern parts of the U.S., and they purchased it. They weren't able to maintain it, so they were going to sell it. And it was, there's some term, be pre-listing listing or something like that. So by the end of the day, there was an offer, and the offer was accepted. And then, so many things happened. So doors just opened. And then the Sangha was there. And, and it's from what I understand, is the growth is still exponential. It's not like it hasn't happened like that elsewhere, but it's a little bit of the history of this place and the devotees, and keeping up with the growth in such a way that people feel encouraged, and they get some opportunity for training, and get some opportunity for this and that and the other thing and the other thing. It's Krishna's mercy, and that's how I look at it anyway. Krishna's mercy upon a group of people that are the core of whom are very sincere, and the audience is there, and it's growing and growing, and Krishna's smiling. This is very nice. And it's a nice model that can be replicated elsewhere. And then, it's one thing to start, it's another thing to maintain, then it's another thing to continue over next generation, into the next generation, and continue. That's because, like somebody from the Southern Baptist Church, they had some enthusiasm and they did something, but they weren't able to maintain it for whatever the reason. We don't know. I don't know. So the maintenance part is the relationship with the deity, the Bhagavatam, the holy name, and the mission. Being able to connect in some way or another, and leadership that is sensitive to all of that, and facilitating all of that. It's not an easy task. Okay, someone else. Yes?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. I would like to share what helped before, during the japa. Yesterday I had early dinner that was helpful. After the dinner I went for a walk and went to bed early. I went to bed around 8:45. And before going to bed, I planned the day for today, what time to wake up and how to plan the chanting. And the place where I'm staying, the host also decided to wake up early at 2:30. So we all woke up early at 2:30. So the plan was to chant 16 rounds before coming to the Mangalarti. And then after Mangalarti, 16 rounds before the morning class. So I finished my 35 rounds before the morning class. I would say my morning rounds were the quality was very good.
No good?
It was very good. The quality was very good.
Very good. Okay.
Because the consciousness was very clear. Heart was very peaceful. So the holy name, I felt like it was flowing in my consciousness nicely. I was able to connect. The other things that helped me was the sankalpa that we did yesterday. That was very helpful. And then Guru Maharaj's class on offering Krishna his holy name, offering our soul to the lotus feet of the Lord. Those 2 points were really was with me. And then this morning class, Maharaj ended the class with connecting with the Lord in his Vachaka form. So those are the few points stayed with me throughout. So before breakfast, I finished 50 rounds. And then by 10:30, I was able to complete 64 rounds. I set my target as 100 rounds today.
Sure.
One drawback was I want to get the rounds done. That was like putting me in mode of passion. I was going fast. So I caught myself that I'm going in like a faster mode because my target is 100. But I was able to bring it back to like a peaceful and mode of goodness and slow down at one point. So I reached 100 rounds by 2 p.m. But I have my daughter with me. She wanted to keep going. She wanted to complete 64 rounds. So I wanted to give her a company. So I kept going. So I finished 108. And then there was 2 more hours left. So at the end, I was able to finish 132 rounds. The few things helped me was when the curtains were open, when I was able to see the deities, my chanting was flowing nicely. That was one thing. And then this is the first time that I'm here in person for Festival of Holy Name. I have always attended online. I will attend online and then I will chant myself at home 64 rounds. So I'm used to chanting alone, like a secluded. So I was a little here, chanting with the devotees. First, I was a little concerned that how I'm going to do. So I kept my eyes closed most of the time. But it became very easy with the devotees and deities' presence. The other thing that helped me was chanting with Guru Maharaj for an hour this morning. That gave me a lot of strength. First time chanting with Guru Maharaj. Distraction did come. My mind was going a little bit, especially after breakfast and after lunch. So
Especially after what?
After breakfast and after lunch. I was getting tired, but I was able to pull my mind back because of one sentence that Maharaj said this morning by the end of the class. Ear conquers mind. So hear. So hearing will conquer the mind. So that statement helped me to hear. So that was helpful with the distraction. and bringing the mind back to the holy name. What I felt overall is the sense of connection with the holy name was good throughout, almost most part. And I took this as an opportunity to chant more because I'm not at home, no homework, no cooking, no other responsibility. It's only me and holy name. So I took this opportunity to chant more. That's all I have, Guru Maharaj. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I think it's best going forward, each devotee be a little more concise, because to give others many an opportunity to speak, and concise speaking is nice. Manasi Ganga.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I normally don't chant 64 rounds. I only chant during the japa retreat. So I was actually wondering if I would be able to. So I was able to do 52 rounds today. The positive thing I wanted to say was I actually felt so much reciprocation from Radha Shamsundar that I actually am so amazed that while chanting, my mind was actually very calm. Different kinds of thoughts or concerns, nothing was coming. I was just focused on chanting and actually hearing the holy name. But in between, I did get periods where I was feeling tired. So I didn't fight it. I actually took a half-hour nap. And then I was able to again chant with a lot of invigoration. It was overall how to put it, the experience was better than I thought it would be.
The experience was what?
Experience was better than I thought or expected. Thank you.
Okay. For those of you that don't know, she and her husband were one of the founding families in the whole yatra. It was her husband that found the property, or through the real estate agent found the property. So through that service that they did, we're very indebted to what's here. Of course, many things happened after that, and after that, and after that. But you probably have attended a number of these retreat festival of the holy name, and each one is a different experience. You're probably a little surprised that I called your name, but you didn't wilt. You stood up. Thank you. Okay, in the back, Sachi Sutta.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. I didn't start early in the morning. I started one day at 6:45, and I was offering prayers to Radharani to put a word to Radha Shamasundar. And I was also offering my prayers to Srila Prabhupada to somehow make me closer to Krishna. And my thoughts were all towards Vibhishana Sharanagati, where Vibhishana is appealing to every Vanaras to recommend him to Sri Ramachandra. So I also saw something like that in one of Bhakti Vinod Thakur's poem, that slide that you shared. And in the middle, before breakfast, I was able to complete my 16 rounds, and after that my health deteriorated. And I was thinking who is in the center, and I was trying to manage, but I couldn't do that. At one point of time, I have to rise and call Satarupa Mataji. She came, and she and Hemagi Mataji took me out, and they gave me some first aid. And I was able to only chant 32 rounds, Maharaj. Thank you for all the support, and indebted to the devotee congregation every time in my case.
Raghav, you want to share?
Maharaj,
I'm going to call on your sister next. She knew it.
I think I had a pretty interesting experience today. It wasn't, it was most certainly not smooth sailing. There was a lot of turbulence, various desires and confusions making their way in, and disturbing my ability to be attentive to my chanting. But there were a few things that I think really helped. Particularly, I liked in the first lecture for this retreat. You mentioned the quote from Burijan Prabhu's book that talked about how the sadhaka has to understand, that they can't, overcome all the anarthas, everything. They can't be done by ourselves. And so that was very empowering for me throughout the Java retreat. At the end of it, I could feel there was some reciprocation. It was nice. I chanted 45 rounds.
Great.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So I'll start with, what I was struggling with a little, I set, I think in my opinion, I set a little,
Slowly.
sorry. I set a little low of a goal. I could have aimed for higher. So my goal initially was a minimum of 32. And then once I did finish 32, I started becoming a little complacent.
A little impatient.
Complacent.
Complacent. Okay.
So, and then obviously there were distractions, but what really did help me was I really liked the slides that were kept going through the whole time. It really helped me keep on focus. And there was especially this one slide, I remember it said, I can't do this alone. So it helped me remember like all the times the holy name did help me, and it brought back that strength, and then it made me keep going. And I also really liked the Sankalpa exercise we did yesterday, and throughout chanting, when I kept on remembering that Sankalpa, I think that also really helped me keep going. And of course, chanting with all the devotees really helped, like the atmosphere and everything was really nice. Thank you, Maharaj.
What's going to happen tomorrow? Impetus. the atmosphere won't be the same. The number of devotees in the room with you chanting won't be the same, but the name will be the same, and the impetus because you brought it up. I'm thinking it might be nice to share, because once we start sharing, then everybody wants. But well, Vangsidhari has the deck. There's that. So you speak to him later, and he can make some arrangements so you can have a copy. Not, don't get distracted. But when you're at least some part of your chanting, some days, then let something stay with you, so it doesn't just have to flash on the screen, but a sound vibration or a message. A little history. I don't know the Mataji, Kanchanavali. My understanding is she's a disciple of Satyanandan Swami, and I may be wrong. That's my understanding. And she had attended a number of his retreats, and she became inspired. And then that inspiration manifested in the form of writing a book. And then she gave permission for her book to be put into these slides. So the book it's just a sequence of things. The slides are just, for some persons, it's distraction, some persons it's helpful. I can call on others if you don't raise your hand. It's okay. It's over here. Younger generation people. Yes. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. I was just reflecting the first time I came to Festival of Holy Name last year. I attempted 64 rounds, but more than half of them were mechanical, for sure.
More than half what?
Were mechanical. We're just, going through the rounds like, I got it, I can do 64, It was my first time going beyond 16, and I guess I was enthusiastic to do 64, but for the wrong reasons. And so having gone through, 1 year of just learning more about the holy name and what that connection looks like, was reflecting today on specifically patience and the quote from the Japa book that Raghav had mentioned. And just, reminding myself that you've tried multiple times to control your mind and, you're just not able to do it. And the holy name has been the only thing that has worked. And reminding myself, because I'm going through this difficult phase in life, and sometimes I get impatient, like, Krishna, where are you? Why aren't you? Where are the signs? And so, just reminding myself, based on what you had said, Krishna's always got your back, and reflecting on times when he did have my back and using that as inspiration to, continue pushing through. So that was my consciousness this morning. And then as I came and, started looking at the deities, I remembered in Gita that Gerda Prabhu had mentioned about the outward glare and why Krishna's, looking at us and having the flute because he's calling us. And I was like, Krishna, I'm here, just take me.
It felt different altogether.
It felt different. Like there was a meaning, there was a purpose to me looking at the deities versus they're just there. And so that gave me, that push to chant with Prabhupada, chant with everyone, because we're all crying out to Krishna right in front of him. And then he's also calling us. And so it just felt very, touching. And then throughout the latter part of the day, I kind of zoned out, but I somehow managed to do 64. But definitely more than half were not mechanical. So a step in the right direction.
Shoo-wee, well done. Well done. Do you have a copy of the book, the Japa? I encourage you, find. And you remember at the beginning, or early, I asked how many people reference this book.
Yes.
And there are a number of devotees reference this book. It's a nice book. It's simple. And it's Purijan. It's simple and devotional and very powerful. It's and short. That's Purijan. Concise. Sri Radhika, you want to be picked on?
Couple tools, Guru Maharaj, that you provided were very helpful. One, the video of Srila Prabhupada encouraging us to chant with Preeti.
Yeah.
It was very touching. And while I've heard this before, that Krishna appreciates us calling his name with love, it never really resonated until Garuda Prabhu brought it within the context of parenting with that limp fish example. So I was thinking, because I identify very strongly with the upadhi of being a parent, I know what it's like for my children to say mama in a very functional way where they want their needs met, versus when they say the same word with feeling, because it's a relational context. When it's not just lip deep, it's heart deep. And I was tapping into what is the visceral feeling in my body when I hear my name being called in that way.
Mm.
And it delivers to me the message that I matter, which is one of our most fundamental human needs, to matter. And so I was taking that within the context of my call to Krishna is, if I call with this kind of a feeling and preeti that Prabhupada is encouraging us, it delivers to Krishna the message that he matters. It's not just a functional relationship where he's a provider and a maintainer. So that was a very, very heart-moving experience, very connecting experience.
I want to ask something about this because you're ready to move on to the next point. When that contemplation or meditation started growing, how long did it sustain, the meditation on the mood in which you're calling Krishna's name, or the preeti factor?
Pretty much throughout the 64 rounds, Guru Maharaj.
Hmm.
And honestly, I was also thinking of Preeti Lakshana Mataji. Because she just has this whole body way of conveying affection, And so the Preeti, like I would often think of her to bring that emotion back into my chanting.
Did you find that meditation, was it like waves? It would rise and then it would subside, but didn't disappear and then rise again?
Yes, and then I would remind myself of your message this morning of just here. And when I would just bring back the ear, turn on the ear again, the meditation would return.
Okay. And I'm sure that there's a connection between point number 1 and point number 2.
I heard Garuda Prabhu mention about his exchange with his son, the limp fish example in Gita Nagari, but somehow it didn't resonate until you brought it up again during this retreat. And less than a week ago, I had the experience of returning from an extended trip out of the country. And I reached out to my children, and being teenage boys, that's not exactly their love language. So it was like I had this experience of what it is like to hold a limp fish. And you, twice at least, I saw in your slides the image of Gopakumar and Krishna. So I was trying to compare Gopakumar's presence and his presence in that image of being with Krishna is so different than there's such a reciprocation going on, you can tell. So I was trying to meditate on that image versus, I don't want to be a limp fish, because when I'm chanting, Krishna's reaching out to me, and I don't want to just stand there like a limp fish, which I experienced less than a week ago. So that I was trying to bring that into my consciousness.
That definitely connects with the first point.
Today was my second Holy Name Festival that I participated, and both experiences were amazing. So when I was preparing for my japa, I was really very concerned due to my current condition, since every 3 hours I need to rest, like this kind of things. And also today I had to do two things, going outside of temple, some family issues. And I was so concerned, and I started my japa at 5:30 in the morning. And at the beginning, it was like a race, so that I was planning to read 64 rounds. And then I came to the class, and after a while, I had to go back home and bring my daughter. But those 32 rounds that I was here were amazing. And even though I had to go home and do some family issues, and I just finished before the class our sharing of reflection class. I'm so now, very active, full of energy. And I'm really very happy that you are always with us, chanting with us. And that's Nectar's experience. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
We missed your daughter, and there was a little session downstairs with the kids.
Yeah, I was really, upset due to, I saw this message only after 10 minutes, and when we came, already finished. I was chanting and I didn't see message. And when I went downstairs and when I saw that everything was finished, I was so upset. But still, my daughter was here, and for like an hour or half an hour, she was not chanting, but she was with us, with you, and she was hearing at least.
Beginning. My thought at this point is to take 2, maybe 3 more, and then we'll end with kirtan. That's my contemplation, because the arti starts at 6. So who's our favorite kirtanier? Someone wants to volunteer. You're being volunteered. So, find a harmonium and do the needful. Subal, would you like to volunteer? Krishna, should you next?
I like to second what the comment that Nandi Mukhi made in terms of your presence. And I want to share what it personally did to me this year. It's been 19 years that you've been doing this. And every year is fresh, which is quite something. There's something every year that inspires, you know, and you experience the Holy Name in this festival in a very transformative way. So this year was it was such for me, and specifically I was appreciating so much the thoughtfulness that you put in each one of these classes. And it's just so beautiful and so connected. The first class and the encouragement that were there in terms of understanding, you know, the enthusiasm with patience and with determination, these things were very wonderful. But just the exercise of the Sankalpa, I wrote few alternatives of Sankalpa that in general have to do with trying to overcome obstacles that I have in reaching this Nishta stage. But there was something that you said that you gave in the Sankalpa that when I went through again, it was really revealing, which is, you know, I want to revive my relationship with Krishna. It was about the rasa part. It was about I want to be in a relationship, and the example of, remember the simple phrasing that George Harrison.
Yes.
I want to be with you. I want to love you. I want to that phrase of a simple thing of I want to reestablish that relationship. It's not even say that I'm going to be in that relationship, but just to awaken that relationship as a sankalpa for my chanting was quite a revelation, because it was not about trying to tackle some, you know, almost hopeless obstacles that I have, but it was just focusing on the relationship with Krishna through His holy name. And it was really, really, really helpful. And I chanted 40 rounds. I was overcome by exhaustion for, you know, the weekend. But so I had to take rest. But the rounds were very nice. And that constant remembrance of chanting with the purpose of establishing a relationship was very, very helpful. So I thank you very much.
Up front, Raghav.
I'd be a little shy to speak publicly. I did 5 sets of 16 rounds, and 2 sets were done in the temple. One was on a walk in the forest preserve. One was driving here from Evanston. The intention, or the sankalpa, was clarified last night through understanding that the point you'd made about making it an offering to Krishna, His holy name, I thought that was very excellent.
Yeah, wasn't that nice?
Yes.
I liked it too.
So excellent.
I liked it too.
So I thought, so this, you know, just steadily staying with the chanting could be that offering that I could make today. So that was the focus. It was just one small interruption because I went to have apart from the scheduled 2 meals, I went to have a cup of chamomile tea. So that was the one interruption, but otherwise I just stayed with it to make it an offering. So I think what has made it possible is that I'm aware that, on an internal level, I've shifted or turned a corner because for a long time I've looked at the workings of the mind and really understanding it and working it all out. So I feel I've turned a corner where, the intelligence is operating. It's not that I'm so completely at the mercy of the mind. So I think that has assisted the ability to be able to make this offering today to yourself and Rajsham Sundar.
Just a little appreciation. Krishnarchan is a Sunday school teacher. She doesn't have children, but she has a lot of children. And one of her Sunday school students, I scolded him. He told you, right? No? I scolded him. I didn't literally shake my finger at him, but everything else but. And I didn't know when I did that the person he had offended was his Sunday school teacher. Because he was just, being an enthusiastic young man, taking care of some service and blinders on and doing his service. But, he after apologizing to you, he came to me and he let me know. She's my Sunday school teacher. I don't know how I did, but anyway, you've touched the hearts of a number of people. I'm appreciating. I didn't know that your role as a Sunday school teacher, it's kind of 2 + 2 = 4, but somehow or another, by having that service, as I'm sure you've been doing for a number of years, it's helping our next generation become the kind of next generation that's going to help maintain Krishna consciousness and grow Krishna consciousness in a quality way. That's such a nice gift. And what you meditated, what your meditation was, is a great way to pass that on to the next generation. Because the next generation likes kirtan, but they don't necessarily like the holy name. I won't go into it, but they've told me. Some groups of young people have told me in a not very sweet way. So music and social, yeah. The holy name, so if that can be, if that connection can be made, that is, the whole understanding of wanting to be in a relationship with Krishna, not just the social and musical. That's a great accomplishment. So if as to the degree that that's something that you're feeling and wish to give to others, then there's, the future will likely manifest a continuation of the Hare Krishna movement. So there's the mridanga. You're gonna do you have your own mridanga. Okay. Okay. Is there anybody else that wants to share? Because otherwise we're going to move into Kirtan. Okay. Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for your presence and leading the way. One thing that that really resonated with me was on the screen while we were chanting it. There was a slide which said, "Chant like a baby is crying for help to his mother." That is something that that really resonated with me. Just something I wanted to share.
Those slides are nice. In one sense, it's a distraction, but in another sense, it's a way to help keep one focused. So it depends on one's disposition. Okay. You want to share also?
Yeah, that's a short sharing. First of all, I just wanted to express my gratitude to you, Guru Maharaj, and all the devotees for planning such an amazing retreat. Each of the sessions it was really special, and I feel really fortunate to be here. Something that stood out to me was Srila Prabhupada's chanting with Preeti and simply understanding that you're calling to Radha and Krishna while chanting, because for some reason, that hit me. It was something different. And the bhajan yesterday was really special about the glories of the holy name. So I was just listening to the bhajan repeatedly, and I felt some change inside. And and I think the constant reminders to focus on hearing the mantra, it really changed the approach for me today, because otherwise, I was really struggling with mechanical chanting. So I just want to thank you, and I have a request for all the devotees that they can pray for me so I can be back next year as well, because it was really special. So thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Oh, so in the morning before Mangal Aarti, I attended his Grace Jam Sundar Prabhuji's Zoom call. So one thing he shared was, it's okay, you try to chant 4 quality rounds. It can take 13 to 15 minutes. So so it kind of struck me. So I was just trying to pronounce each and every mantra properly. I chanted 39 rounds. But it was quite slow, but I think I'm heading in the right direction.
You wanted Kirtan or Kevalashtakam? Hare Krishna Kirtan or Kevalashtakam? Okay.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti नारिने निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्या देशतारिणे नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे शून्यवादी पाश्चात्या देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण Krishna Krishna
Give Jaya Jaya Arati Kasha
His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya Stotara Sata Shishimad His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Prince Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Sri Vrindavan Mathura Dhamaki Sri Mayapur Navadvip Dhamaki Purushottam Kshetra Sri Jagannath Puri Dhamaki Ganga Maji Jamuna Maiki Bhakti Devi Shrimati Tulsi Maharani Ki. Their most beautiful Lordship Shishi Radha Shama Sundara Ki. Their most beautiful Lordship Sri Sri Radha Madhava Ki. Paramakaruna Shishi Gaura Hari Ki. Sri Jagannath Sri Baladev Shrimati Shubhadra Maharani Ki. Sri Harinam Sankirtan Jagya Ki. Grantara Shrimam Bhagavatam Ki. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to Shishi Guru and Shigoranga. Radha
Jaya